What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back. This is Mike Robb, creative director for Binary Fashion Magazine. And again, we are waking up Atlanta's fashion industry. We got an exclusive for you guys today. A very, very dope guest, a very, very honored guest for you today. He has many line of projects dating all the way back to 2013 up until now, from MacGyver to the recurring role on
Gifted.
on the on the Gifted. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Jermaine Rivers, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Likewise. So today we did an exclusive shoot for you today, man. How you feeling?
I love it, man. I love everything that you guys set up for me. I love the atmosphere, and it's indicative to the growth that I want to see in 2019 moving forward in my career. So thanks for having me, man.
Likewise, thanks for coming. So we were just talking a little bit before the camera roll. You are from Vicenza, Italy, is that correct?
Born in Vicenza, Italy. My father was he was in the army stationed in Vicenza, and the lucky moment happened.
Right.
I was born there, and I spent about 3 years there as a child. And later on in life, I had opportunity to visit my city of birth. And yeah, man, just having that Florentine influence, fashion style. If you ever get a chance to go to Vicenza, you will be in for a treat.
Man, I hope so. That's Italy in general is on me and my team's bucket list. So thanks for the reference. Thanks for the reference and everything. And we definitely want to try to get over there. As far as I want to get into your line of work, man, because I was looking at your resume, very impressive. So I want to say hats off to you, kudos to you. From 2013 up until now, that's almost over a decade of work. How do you feel, man, as an actor, as an actor continuously growing with your craft? How do you feel?
It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. Incrementally, every year I set objective for myself in terms of what kind of work that I wanted to do, what kind of projects I wanted to do, and I did it inch by inch. Just throwing it out to the universe, speaking it, and then acting on it. So I feel very blessed to have come this far from where I started. Doing the wood carving, doing the grinding, traveling, even for stuff that I wasn't even paid for. Sometimes you got to do it, just so that way you can build the experience to build the resume. So it's a game of inches. Every day you got to do something for your craft.
Absolutely, and as entrepreneurs, man, I know that all too well. I've went through many different facets of my career where, like you said, you got to do that pro bono work to get to that compensated work. You know, and a lot of new talent out there, a lot of fresh-faced talent, they need to hear that. So thank you for implementing that.
Yeah.
In that time span, man, what do you say is most your one of your projects is the most achieved, the most inspirational that you've done in that time frame?
Most inspirational. I would say the work that we're doing on The Gifted is inspirational because of the underlying message that the show is predicated on. They contrast what's happening in the Marvel Universe, specifically with mutants and how mutants are persecuted and marginalized based off of who they were born to be. And we see that a lot in today's day and age. I don't know how many hashtags we went through in 2016, 2017, people being marginalized and targeted for the way they look. So that show definitely was one of the shows that I looked at in terms of the message. And my piece, my part, my character had a role to play in that too. So I'm very honored to have had that opportunity.
Awesome. And just to let everybody know, in case they don't know, this brother had an opportunity to play Shatter on The Gifted. One of the Marvel characters I haven't got a chance to know yet because it's a big universe. So shout out to Stan Lee, man. Rest in peace for the creative idea of it. But touch a little bit more on Shatter, man, because as you know, as a people, as a culture, we don't have too many, us as superheroes. Coming up, we got, in my era, we got Static Shock, and, we got Black Panther, but,
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning.
Super Friends. It was Speckles in there. The creator of my character, Sean Martin, bro, and also Geoff Johns, who now I think is the president of DC, and he's dabbling into films. 2002, they came out with a limited run series called The Morlocks.
Okay.
And that's where my character, Shatter, originates from. And a little bit of history about my character. When he underwent his change, becoming a mutant, whatever triggered his change, his physical change, it resulted in his skin becoming diamond hard, more black than what he is. It's more of a,
I saw.
Exactly. A black appearance, and basically everything that he touched at the time of his mutation, he crystallized it. So it had a little molecular element to that too, molecular manipulation. And for Shatter, when he underwent his change, he didn't want to be a mutant. He went into a depressive state and tried to commit suicide. Therefore, the actual Shatter appearance on his head, where he tried to kill himself and failed, that's how the bullet struck, and then it just kind of splintered into the glass splintered appearance. So when you contrast that into the real world applications of it, people who suffer from whatever kind of physical impairments, and they're not really in love with themselves, and
right.
they go into these fits of depression and also suicidal tendencies. My character basically speaks to that. He's like, hey, look, I know what you're going through. I've been there, and I've managed to deal with it. So it just speaks on so many levels of stuff that we deal with right now, especially in today's age where image and self-love
is everything.
It's everything. You know, people doing everything. They're going to extreme measures to change the way they look, instead of saying, hey, look, I love me for me. I love what God created, and I love my nose. I love my hair. So it speaks to a lot of things. I don't want to rant on too much.
No, you're doing right. Because that's the main thing we want to give to our audience, the binary family and beyond us, is that, whoever sees this type of content, they need to know a man or person in your stature, just because you're celebrity talent doesn't mean you're not an everyday person.
Right.
You understand the realities of what people go through.
Those social pitfalls, man, about image. So that's one aspect that the show really touches on. I think in the subtext, but that's what I try to make my objective, understanding my character, speaking with the creators and saying, okay, the comics, in the comic realm, this is what he went through. Let me understand his psychological aspect. This is how I feel about the character. These are the choices that I'm going to make, bringing him to life on camera. Am I in the ballpark? Because these are my interpretations. And Sean, he was very gracious. Sean Martin, who inked them, he was very gracious in saying, okay, this is some of the things that I didn't talk about. So I took that and then I brought it into my character development, and that's what I presented. More of a reluctant, playing the back kind of guy. He only speaks when he has to, and when he moves in a fashion where it's not all glitz and glam. He's moving in the shadows to do whatever he's trying to do, support whatever cause that they're trying to support with the Mutant Underground, of helping displaced mutants get to safe havens.
Safe refuge.
Right.
And that's dope, man. So if you guys haven't checked that show out, make sure you watch The Gifted. It's on Netflix, correct?
Actually, it's on Hulu. It's streaming on Hulu, so you can stream the first season and also the second season on Hulu. And we're now at a new time slot on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
go check that out. Now I want to backtrack a little bit, because I saw that you spent some time in the military as well. So touch on that and how that's playing a role in your career today.
Absolutely, I did 20 years. 20 years.
Thank you.
A full military career, and to get something, you got to give something. And when I enlisted in the military right out of high school, I knew I didn't want to be someone that's relying upon my parents to put me through college full time, because I had a sibling behind me, and at that time, at that age, I was still very much mature. So I was like, these are the things I want to do in life. I want to travel. I want to educate myself about the world, get some experience. So I joined the military, and from there, 20 years later, 5 deployments, 2 combat tours to Iraq, Afghanistan, leading troops. I actually had the honor and pleasure of serving as a drill sergeant at Fort Jackson for 3 years, wearing a hat as a senior drill sergeant. So the military gave me perspective. It really did give me a perspective in terms of understanding that the world is not just this little small thing. You know, we live in like a kind of like a glass house, and it has shaded tinted windows. It's much more complex than that, and it's much more beautiful than that. So I had the opportunity to travel and to meet different people who didn't speak the language that I speak, and I could impact people, and also fight, defend, and support all of those things that's wrapped into one. So it gave me a deep well of experiences, both good and bad, that I can tap into, that I can pull and inform my characters, that I can dress those characters around. So I attribute a large margin of my success in this profession to everything that I went through in the military. It prepared me, and I can speak, and I can come in, and I can do things at a rapid rate because I have familiarity with it. I'm familiar with it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, it was a good thing. And I also said, matter of fact, I had a podcast the other day that I did.
Okay.
And I kind of summarized it by saying it was a accidental blessings. It was an accidental blessing. I don't believe in accidents, and I don't believe in coincidences. You are where you are when you are for a reason. But the thing is that you always have a choice. But the prayers that I've had along the way let my talent and opportunities manifest at the right time, and then the element of courage, being able to step outside of a comfort zone and say, you know what, I can do that, and doing it in earnest, not half-stepping, but putting in the work, taking out the time to really fine-tune yourself and carve away all of those rough things about yourself. Get out your own way, so that way you can really come in and contribute.
Absolutely.
Contribute and help tell stories that's worth being told.
Absolutely. Well said, man. And you know, prior to meeting him today, I like I said, doing research and everything, that I before I even found that part out about your life, is that I said, yeah, he spent some time in the military, because it's about a structure. It's about a certain makeup that you fellow soldiers have, because my grandfather, way back in the day, did World War II.
Right.
I got a cousin right now who just retired, so he did a tour in Afghanistan for a while. So I have that that reference in my family.
Right.
And I can kind of pick when I meet a person or if I'm working with a person.
We vibe different. We vibrate a little differently, and it's all about discipline. The ones who done it and really took it to heart and say, you know what, I'm a soldier. I'm a soldier, and this is what is expected of me, and you walk the walk. And it's not for the sake of vanity. It's not for the sake of glory. It's about, the freedom is not free. People have to pay a price, and I'm willing to pay that price if necessary. I want to be here a long time.
Yeah.
But when push came to shove, I pushed hard. I pushed back. And even now, I sit back with an air of gratitude. That's the one thing that I look at what I do. I'm very grateful to be in this position. So I would never take it for granted. I would never take it for granted. But the military showed me, being shot at, being in combat, being in the most uncomfortable situations and laughing at it and looking at it from a humorous standpoint to be like, hey, look, it is what it is. Let me go ahead and soldier on. Let me go forth and do what I got to do to make the best impact. And then later, now I can sit back and be like, yeah, it was all worth it.
Wow.
It was all worth it.
That's dope, man. So I want to, come current a little bit. We got a couple more questions for you. So 2019 is here.
Right.
Fresh start, fresh you, as everybody does. What is on the books this year for Mr. Rivers?
Everything I could put my hands on. I have been talking constantly with my team, and I've been planning and my strategy, so to speak, in 2018. You plant the seeds of the stuff that you want to do before the new year, so that way when the new year hits,
stay ahead of the game.
Stay ahead of the game. You can't plan for success in the moment. You have to plan, long range calendar, like 6 months out. Okay, what do I want to do? Where do I want this thing to grow? So I've had several offers from several people in the industry say, hey, look, man, we're doing this film. We want you to be a part of it. Yada, yada, here's the script. Yada, yada. And I would look at it, and I'm like, yeah, that's for me. Or I'm like, no, that's not for me. So you pick and choose the things that's going to be consistent for your growth. So a lot of good things are on the horizon in 2019 that I'm gonna attach myself to.
Awesome. Well, we will be sure to watch you in whatever project comes your way. Last but not least, again, we have a great audience that spans from Atlanta to hopefully now around the world based on our submissions within the last 3 years. So if you have any advice at all for any upcoming talents in whether they're models or actors, entertainment overall, what's the best advice you can give to our young viewers out there that will be watching?
Stay hungry, stay humble, stay focused. A no is not the end. You're going to hear no so many times, but that's not the end. It's only going to test your resolve to go a little bit harder. And I'll take a quote from Denzel. I think Denzel said, "Ease is a greater threat to success than hardship will ever be." Ease is a greater threat to success than hardship will ever be. If it's easy, everybody could do it. So if you're taking your lumps, but you're moving forward, fail and fall forward, then you're gonna make it. I haven't made it. Every day is an incremental step closer. Right now, I'm inching a couple of more meters closer to where I want to be impactful. But just stay in the fight. Stay in the fight, and if you want to, go get it. Ain't nobody gonna hand it to you. If you want it, you gotta earn it. You gotta fight for it every day, tooth and nail. So,
I like that. Mr. Rivers,
Mike,
thank you so much. It's been an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for the Bonaire Fashion Magazine Interview Corner. My name is Mike Rao, your creative director for Bonaire, and we are waking up Atlanta's fashion industry. We out.